Not every Rolex model is a good investment, believe it or not. So let's sift through the Rolex roster and spot which models are not exactly flying off the shelves this year. Welcome back to Opulent Oasis. In our chat today, we'll break down the Rolex market as it stands in 2024. What's hot, what's not, and what's just crawling along. And if you're part of our community yet, hitting that subscribe button will make sure you're not missing out on all our latest insights. Stick around as we take a closer, because who knows, this could save your wallet some serious future heartbreak. We've spotted a noticeable shift. Lots of fresh Rolex models are hitting the shelves with shiny new price tags. Remember the Daytona Oysterflex from last year? Initially, they were all over the place, and then suddenly finding one was like trying to spot a unicorn in your backyard. Now talking about the new Rolex releases, they're playing a serious game of hard to get. But then there's the Datejust lineup, showing up more often than unexpected rain in a forecast. And speaking of surprises, the no-date Submariners have begun making appearances again. Last December, you'd have an easier time finding a parking spot at a Black Friday sale than spotting one of these. What's fascinating is how these trends seem to roll in waves. One minute you think you've cracked the code on Rolex's pattern, and the next, the tides shift. Now let's dive into what's hot on the shelves right now. The sweet spot in our market these days hovers between $8,000 and $15,000. This range captures a variety of models, including the stalwart steel Submariners, both date and no-date versions, as well as the dashing Submariner Blues and the luxe 18-karat yellow gold versions. On top of these, the GMT range is making some serious waves, particularly the B-girls, which have emerged as highly sought-after items. We're also seeing solid movement with some of the smaller but equally impressive pieces like the Explorer 40 and the Datejust 41, with the top three dials, Mints, Blues and Wimbledon, leading the pack. But the retail prices took a hike at the start of this year, kicking in on January 1st. But here's the thing. Over in the grey market, it's more like a gentle sway than a steep climb. Prices are holding steady, and for some models, they're even taking a little dip. Now about the Oysterflex Daytonas. These were the top-selling models once upon a time, but now they're not exactly flying off the shelves. Despite their elusive reputation, akin to nabbing a perfect hand in poker, some online prices are seeing a downward trend. But let's pause for a moment. Why not join our Opulent Oasis community? Hit subscribe to stay in the loop. Now let's continue our journey. Let's cruise over to another lane where the big bold statements, the full yellow and rose gold pieces like the Sky Dwellers and certain Datejusts, are starting to gather dust unless they're flaunting those special dials. It's pretty intriguing. Even the legendary Paul Newman models are clinging to popularity just because of their distinctive dials. Meanwhile, those hefty full bracelet pieces without the snazzy dial, they're not exactly the belle of the ball right now. If you're eyeing a chunky gold Rolex without that dial dazzle, you might find the market surprisingly welcoming. This shift shows that even in the land of luxury, it's the little details that can make or break the deal. Let's talk about what's missing from the Rolex scene lately. If you're chasing after the Rolex GMT Pepsi, you might need more than just good luck, because it's like they've vanished into thin air. There haven't been any new sightings since late 2023, and nothing at all from 2024. It looks like production has hit a slow patch. Rumors are swirling, and finding a Pepsi these days is as rare as it gets. But don't let the whispers of discontinuation tempt you into making a hasty purchase. Sometimes it's just the market playing hide-and-seek with demand, and these watches disappear quicker than the last slice of pizza at a party. Switching gears to the Oysterflex models, despite their sleek blend of metal and rubber, they haven't quite captured the hearts of collectors like the classic Oyster bracelet. It seems old-school charm and robustness still win out for most. And about those full gold Rolex watches, yellow, rose or white, they still pack a punch visually, but aren't turning as many heads these days. The tide is turning towards sportier, more adaptable styles, though there are always those standout exceptions. Keep an eye out for those rare dials or the understated elegance of white gold models that can sneak up on you with their quiet luxury. Well, you might find it surprising that not every Rolex is disappearing from the display cases as fast as you'd think, despite the brand's dazzling allure. Let's dig a little deeper here. Rolex remains a titan in the world of luxury watches, but not every model is setting sales records. Why? Consumer preferences are evolving, there's an overflow of certain styles, and let's be honest, not every new twist is a hit straight out of the gate. In 2024, the wind seems to be blowing in favor of sportier looks, leaving those lavish, full gold models and some of the heftier day dates and sky dwellers catching a few sleep on the shelf. Even the trendy Oysterflex bracelet hasn't quite stolen the show as expected, with many collectors sticking to the tried-and-true classic Oyster bracelet. And then there's the mysterious case of the disappearing Pepsi bezel GMT Master 2, which has become as elusive as a quiet moment in Times Square. Meanwhile, mid-range full gold models are finding themselves in a curious niche, slightly less beloved than their flashier counterparts. On the flip side, the world of professional resellers is seeing its own drama unfold. Many are exiting stage left, nudged out by tightening profit margins. This shake-up is like a breath of fresh air for genuine watch lovers, clearing the path for them to grab those coveted pieces without having to break the bank. It feels like the market is recalibrating, inching back to a state where you might even sweet-talk your way to a better deal at the dealer. Peeking into the future, don't fall off your chair if over the next 6 to 12 months you find yourself snagging a bargain on some of those more understated plain dial full gold models. So for those quick flip aficionados out there, it might be time to scout new territories. The landscape is shifting, and it seems the Rolex arena is returning to its roots, where a deep passion for craftsmanship and the thrill of collecting are king and queen of the court. Also, we're noticing some pretty cool price drops on those standard dial models decked out in full gold, and it's not just a local scene anymore. There's a hefty demand from the US, with these glitzy timepieces jetting off internationally every week. This surge underscores the worldwide craze for luxury watches, people from every corner of the globe lighting up our inboxes with inquiries. It's a buzzing market, but not without its hurdles. Sellers, particularly the quick flip crowd, are starting to sweat. Now, diving a bit deeper into these full gold models, let's talk specifics. These aren't just any gold watches because they typically feature beautifully polished bezels and a less is more approach to the dial, which often comes in subdued tones like champagne or soft silver. This simplicity in design contrasts sharply with the bold statement made by the gold casing and bracelet. It's this blend of understatement and opulence that's catching eyes globally, appealing to a clientele that's looking for something that screams luxury but whispers elegance. Investing in watches like these isn't just a game of buy and sell, it's about appreciating the craftsmanship and history behind each piece. Sure, turning a profit might be part of the thrill, but remember, the real joy comes from owning a piece of horological art. So what do you think about these trends? Are you surprised by which models are lagging behind? Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Rolex market, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our latest insights. We've got plenty more luxury watch content lined up just for you. Thanks for hanging out with us at Opulent Oasis, and we'll catch you in the next one.